For this project, we're going to do another text project, but this time instead of doing fancy colors and things like that in our text, we're actually going to have an image be the color of our text. We're actually going to have an image show through the text, something like this right here, where I have my name and the picture of some bulldogs here showing through through where the text is at. So I'm going to show you that technique. So you're going to do a search for an image and download it. A couple of pieces of advice for you with the image. Make sure the image is a good size. The width of the project is going to be 1,000 pixels. So as long as your picture is in that ballpark or bigger, we should be okay. Remember, you can usually check the size when you click on an image. It should tell you in the right corner, although we have found that that isn't always accurate in this class. So you may have to download a couple till you find one that you want. But the image that you download should have whatever it is that's the subject should take up most of the picture or a significant portion of the picture. You wouldn't want the subject of your image to be just off in a corner. And your image should be something that means something to you, something you like, a hobby, an animal, a sports team, an athlete, whatever it might be. Choose something that means something to you. That will make this project a lot better. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and you should download that. And let's get into Photoshop and get started with this project. So let's go File, New. The presets don't really matter. If you do click on print though, a couple settings will be set for us which we want, but it doesn't matter really. So change this to pixels, of course. We're going to do 1,000 pixels for width, 500 for height. Resolution should be 300 pixels per inch. RGB color, and we're going to do transparent as our background. Let's give it a name. So I'm going to call this Pasifumi. I'm just going to go IIT for Image in Text V5 and click Create. All right, so this is my image with the transparent background. We are going to want a color background initially so we can see our effects a little bit better. So down in the Layers palette, let's go ahead and click on the half black, half white circle and just do a solid color layer, and just white is good. That's all we need. This is not really going to stay as part of our project. We're just going to leave it there with that. This is a good time to save, so let's go File, Save. And this is also, and make sure we save it to the cloud. It should have the name. If you forgot to name it now. Make sure it's going to the cloud. Click Save. Let's make sure we have our workspace set up correctly before we move on. So let's go to Window, Workspace, and we want to choose Essentials. If Essentials isn't chosen, choose it. And then if you have to choose it, go back to Workspace and click Reset Essentials, and then all of our palettes will be set up the way we want. We are going to use one extra palette for this project, so let's click on Window again and choose Character, and that's going to put the palette right here, and we're going to be focusing in on this letter A here, but I'm just going to minimize that palette for right now. The other adjustment we're going to want to make is go in the View menu and go down to where you see the word Snap. Make sure that that's checked. And under Snap To, make sure that all of these are checked. If they're not, you can click the All button and make sure that they're all checked. That'll help us align things later in the project. All right, let's bring in our image. So let's go File, Place Embedded, find it on your computer, and place it. Now, as far as the size when you bring it in, it's not important that it perfectly match this image. It's actually even okay if it goes outside of the canvas a little bit, but you want the focus of your image should be pretty significant here. You wouldn't want to have it off to the side like this or something like that. But again, it doesn't need to fill the screen, and it's okay if it goes out. It doesn't need to fill the canvas, I should say, and it's okay if it goes outside the canvas a little bit. And you can always adjust that as needed. All right, making sure we have the Bulldog Puppy layer selected. Let's go to our horizontal type tool. Now, as far as the font to pick, the advice is pick a font that is thick and bold. If you choose fonts that are thin, like this halogen font would be a terrible choice, because the only part of the image that's going to show through is what is covered up by the text. So initially the text is going to block the image, but then we're going to have put what's called a clipping mask on, which is going to then reverse that, and then the only thing you'll see is what's covered by the text. So you want your subject to fill the screen, and then the word that you're going to type in should fill the screen as well, as much as possible. Okay, so I know for this project, I'm sorry, whoops, that's not where I want to be. I know for this project that Impact is a good font. but you don't have to use that. There's a bunch of choices. And if you don't like any of the fonts, feel free to go look at Adobe and download them. I'll have the download video on this page if you want to go search for some fonts yourself. But I'm going to use Impact. That usually works pretty well. Okay, with my horizontal type tool selected, I'm actually going to do, okay, the only choice is regular. If you have a choice for bold, I would use that. I know the size of 90 is that might be a little large, but I'll just leave it for now. We'll see what happens. Then we want to do centered, and for now, I'm just going to do white for the text. And then I'm going to click once in the center of the image. So 90 was way too big. You can see how you can't even see the text on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and change this size. Now I could click on the 90 and change the value, but you can also click and hold on the letter T and then drag right and left, and you can see how it's resizing the text. There's good old Mabel barking for us. Wonderful. Now, obviously I don't want my text to say Lorem Ipsum. So what we're going to do now is make sure that you have this layer selected and then open this character. Oh, actually, before we do that, I'm sorry. Let's click on the text tool, and let's select this text, and then type in the word that you're going to use. Now, my suggestion is your name or whatever is in the subject area. So for me, my name, Mr. P, or bulldogs would be a good one here, or puppies. But the two things should relate to each other. If you're using your name, you're basically saying like something that you're really passionate about, something that you really like. But if you are being literal and showing what's in the image, that's fine as well. So now obviously that I changed the text to my name, which is only 3 letters, I can actually go quite a bit bigger with the font. So I'm going to increase the size. And then with the text tool still selected, if you move your cursor away from it, it turns into like a little move tool. And that's okay for now because I'll make some further adjustments to this shortly. So when I look at my text and my image behind it, I want to remember that the only part of the image that's going to show through is covered by a letter. So for example, this bulldog's face right here, when I apply this effect, would be deleted. And that's kind of an important part of the picture. So I'm really going to work to be sure that I kind of have these 2 wrestling bulldogs covered by the Mr. and then his face is part of the P here. So you need to be thinking about that as you're doing this. So you probably are going to make a lot of adjustments to your text. So make sure that you're on your text layer, and let's open up that character area here, and this is where you can make a lot of changes to your text. So you can change the size from here, which we could also do up there, but there's a few others as well, like the space between letters, this VA value right here. It's called tracking, and the higher the number, the farther apart the letters move. The lower the number into the negatives, the closer they'll go. So play around with this value to see if you can get just the right sort of view for your text. Additionally, you can change the height of your text without changing the width of it. With this one right here, you can change the width of your text without changing the height as well. So these 2 are probably going to be pretty important to you. Now this tracking one, this VA right here, that tracks all the letters. So when I adjust this value, all the letters are affected by it, but I really want to focus on just the letter P and have it move closer to the period. But I don't really want the Mr. here to change very much. So one thing you can do as well is if you are on your type tool, put your cursor in between the 2 letters that you want to adjust, and then hold the Alt key down and use the left arrow. And now you'll notice that the letter P is moving closer to the period, and I'm almost getting it where I want it to be right now. So I still don't quite have it. Again, I can keep playing around with the thickness of the font. Let me hit my check mark here. I can keep playing around with the thickness of the font, but it's not quite going where I want it to go. One thing that you can do is if you click on the picture layer, you can move it around. Now, one thing you're going to want to do with the move tool, so if I have my bulldog puppy layer highlighted, I have my move tool selected. Up here where it says auto select, for this project, I want to turn auto select off, because what auto select does is, regardless of what layer you're on in the layers palette, if you click on a pixel in another layer, it will select that layer, and sometimes you have a hard time picking it. So I'm going to turn it off. Make sure that the picture layer is selected, and then I can move the picture layer around. I'm going to be able to move it later as well. I can also use Control T and resize it. So maybe making this a little bigger. See how that kind of puts the bulldog's face over where I want it? This is looking a little better right now. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And I think I have it now, but again, I'll be able to make adjustments if I need to. All right, so what we want to do now, when we think we have it where we want it, we want to take our picture layer and move it above the text layer. Then what we want to do, so we've covered the text obviously. If I turn the visibility off, the text, well, you can't see it because it's white text on a white background, but the text is still there. What I want to do is right click on the Bulldog Puppy layer on the top layer, and you're looking for Create Clipping Mask. It's right in the middle of the big long menu that pops up. When you do that, you're going to notice in the Layers palette there's this little arrow from the Bulldog Puppy pointing at the layer below it, meaning it's clipped to the layer below it. And all that's doing is saying the only part of this image that's going to be visible is anything where there are any pixels on the layer below it. So on the layer below it, the only pixels on that layer are the letters. The rest of the layer is empty. It's not white because this is the white layer right here. It's completely transparent. So the only part of the picture that shows is connected to whatever the pixels are on the layer below it. That was a mouthful right there. Again, I can still make a couple of changes here. Like for example, I can still move this picture around. I'm on the picture layer. That's important. Okay, I'm not on the text layer. I can move the text around as well. But I want you to be sure that your text is centered. So the reason we turned on the snap was so that you could see when it's centered. So notice how the two pink lines, the horizontal and the vertical, are centered right now. Better you move the image around than your text. But I'm pretty happy with this. This turned out pretty good. I've got this bulldog's face here. You can see these two guys wrestling right here. I love it. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so now we're going to apply some layer styles to this. So let's go ahead and make sure that you have your text layer selected. Double click on the empty part of the text layer. We're going to add two different things here. First thing we're going to add is a drop shadow. So click on drop shadow. Go ahead and click reset to default to go back to our default values. That'll clear out anything you might have done in the previous project. And go ahead now, and the three you're going to want to play around with are the distance, spread, and size. I would leave, you can play around with the color and the blend mode if you want, but I would leave them alone. You can play around with the angle if you want the shadow to be at a different angle, but the other thing you do that's easier than that is you can actually just click and drag and move that around, and then this angle is going to change. So this makes it look like the light source is coming from the upper left. You can play around with the size and the spread and get it to look the way that you want. And again, you can play around with these two things with color and the blend mode and see get an effect you like, but I'm pretty happy with this right here. The next one we're going to add a stroke to this. So I'm going to click on stroke. I'm going to click reset to default to get rid of anything I did previously. And again, you can play around with this. I'm just going to be simple. I'm just going to do a nice black one right here. I'm going to do it outside. I prefer that. And for my image, let's see what 3 looks like. Let's go with 5. Oh, I like that. So 5 looks good for my picture. Again, feel free to play around with any of these, but I'm very happy with this right here. All right, last but not least, we don't want this on a big plain white background. Let's go ahead and put a gradient in here. So I'm going to click on the color fill layer, which I actually don't need this layer anymore. So I'm just going to delete it. Actually, I'm going to keep it for 1 second. I'm going to go ahead, with it selected, I'm going to go ahead and add a new layer so it goes above that layer. So I'm going to click on that half black, half white circle. I'm going to click on gradient. When I bring in the gradient, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you have some choices here. In the previous project, and one of the two, we talked about these stops and how you can change the color of these stops. You could do that, or you could simply go in and choose some of the presets for you here. Choose one that fits with your image, colors that you like, whatever it might be. I'm an orange guy, like orange is my favorite color. I don't really love most of these though, but this one here, I love it. That's good. That'll work for my picture right here. You can decide whether it should be a linear or a radial. If you do a linear, you can change the angle of the way that it goes. Whatever you want to do, that's good by me. I'm going to click OK. Now I can go ahead and delete that color fill layer. I don't need that anymore. All right, so the project is done. Let's do a save. Since we saved it once already, I should have saved a couple more times to be honest with you. But since we saved it once already, it's just going right to the cloud. So now you have a choice. If you want to just turn this in for a grade, you're going to go File, Save a Copy, and you're going to save it to your computer, and you're going to save it as a JPEG. However, if you want to save it, I'm sorry, if you want to get it printed on like a t-shirt or whatever, let's take out this background so that it'll print better and just have the text there. So I'm going to turn off the gradient fill layer. I don't need to delete it. I can just turn it off, and then I can go File, Save a Copy on my computer, and this one I'm going to save as a PNG. PNG will hold transparency values. So now when I bring this in and send it to my garment printer or to my sticker printer, whatever it might be, this will just print the letters. It won't print the gray and white check. It'll just be plain. It'll be white, whatever color it's printed on, but that'll print much cleaner and much better. All right, great job. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.